New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick Of Time Show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And guess what? I'm not sick today, all right? Energy full throttle. The Knicks stopped their 3-game losing skid and beat the Los Angeles Lakers in LA 112-108. We had some games today. Emmanuel quickly gives you 15 points and 3 assists. Obadiah, Dunker's the lie. Obadiah Toppin comes in and gives you 9 points. McBride, he comes in and does his stuff this a little bit. He gives you some steals, he gives you some rebounds, and with 8 points on the night for McBride, okay, I see. And when we're looking at the top, it's been redemption day from the guys on the Knicks, because RJ Barrett comes in and drops a 30-burger, 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Julius Randle, people wanted to trade this dude yesterday after having a phenomenal season and hitting game winners in Miami. He had 33 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds. So big gunshots for Julius Randle. The Knicks out-rebound the Lakers 12-10 on the offensive boards. We actually hit our free throws. Shout out to Josh Hart, the cold-blooded one, who gives you 2 clutch free throws to end the game. And the Knicks take care of business and beat the Lakers, and we're gonna talk about it all. I'm about to talk about all the flip-flopping that's happening, because it's crazy, it's nasty out here. Oh man, these bros ain't loyal, man. Chris Brown need to make a remix about that, because man, the way y'all jump shit is crazy. But let's talk about it. Before we even get into that, shout out to Fubo TV. If you want to watch the Knicks for free for 7 days, go to FuboTV.com/KOT. That's FuboTV.com/KOT if you want to watch the Knicks for free for 7 days on Fubo TV. And you can actually purchase it, watch it for longer, and you can also cut it because there's no real subscription. You can cancel whenever you want. All right, so shout out to Fubo TV. Also, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well if you've been on the fence. We talk Knicks news, Knicks basketball after every game. So shout out to you guys who watch and support us. All right, let me introduce you to my guys. First and foremost, it's the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building. First and foremost, Julius Randle, keep doing your thing and shut these wishy-washy Knicks fans up, number 1. Number 2, welcome back, Badman.
The Badman is back. Did you see the plies? The plies in the rim run? Did you see like the scoop shot, the overhead shot, the shot over Anthony Davis? Man, okay, RJ, I see you. Yep. I see you. And of course, you already know the Latin Assassin is back. ESPN contributor, Deadspin contributor, SNY contributor. My guy, Lee Escobedo. What's going on, Lee?
What's up, man? I was in San Antonio with my pops. This was like the 20th year. We've been to the UIL state tournament for all the Texas basketball teams. I mean, we're a great hoop state here in Lone Star State. Watched some great talent. Hopefully, a couple of future Knicks on the team. And now I'm back, ready to talk Knicks. And shout out Brendan Fraser for winning the Oscar night. The whale was amazing. I see you, homie.
Okay, I didn't even know what's happening at the Oscar. I didn't even see it. Also, shout out to Jason M, who gives the $2 super chat early to get things popping and rolling downhill. Shout out to my guy, Jason M. All right, let's get it. Randle. Yo, Julius Randle, extremely proud of Julius Randle today because, yo, there's certain people who root for you, and there's people who root for you to fail. There's people who watch you, and there's people who hate watch you. And you got to learn the difference sometimes between the people who watch you and the people who hate watch you. And right now, there's Knicks fans who are Knicks fans, but they hate watching Randle. And they're just waiting for him to fail so you can say, I told you so. Did Lee freeze?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's just really into what I'm saying. Okay, cool.
You're preaching
All
right
right.
now.
And I kind of felt like that was happening today. And I'm gonna reiterate what I said the day before. I do not like what happened yesterday when Randle imploded. I did not like it, but I also understand human beings. Change in people isn't linear. So when someone is trying to change a bad habit that they had for their entire life, what happens is they'll dip. They'll rebound. They'll change, they'll dip. So it's going to happen. He's going to battle this for his entire career. For what people have to look for when it comes to Randle is not when he relapses, because he will relapse. Yesterday won't be the last time, but you have to look at everything season to season. Does he have a positive impact on the season overall? Does he carry his mistakes from yesterday's game into today's game? And today's game, he completely flipped it on his head. He scored 25 points in the first half, 18 points in the first quarter alone. And he played well. He was in good spirits. He did his Zen thing. He rebounded like I thought he would. And overall, he played a pretty good game with certain head scratchers. But, you know, that's what Randle does. Randle has head scratchers. Okay, that's just what it is. This is why I don't want him to be an overall first option. But, you know, a guy who can, against certain matchups, take over. So, salute to you, Julius Randle. Gives you 33 points, 8 rebounds on the night, 5 assists, and some timely threes. And for me, they switched it up today a little bit when I looked at the game. He didn't really ISO so much in the fourth quarter. He allowed Quickly and RJ to really take over the game in the fourth quarter. And even though it didn't yield perfect results in the fourth quarter, it didn't yield turnovers. All right. And that's like the first step. We have to actually get the ball up and not just have the ball be turned over. I'm going to let Ryan go because Ryan seemed very passionate earlier about Julius Randle. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to formulate my thoughts because I don't want to be disrespectful, because some of the people who seem to flip on Julius Randle after he had his emotional outburst yesterday are actually people I do respect as Knicks content creators, and just, you know, people I follow, and, you know, I interacted with them from time to time and things of that nature. Clearly, people flipping on Randle yesterday is based off of pure emotion. It's people that saw what he did last season and are unwilling to give him a chance to prove that he can change going forward. And like JL has said, when people are trying to make a change, there's going to be ups and downs. When someone makes a change, it's not going to be straight through. They're going to be good. There's going to be times when they're going to dip and then rebound. You have to look at the season as a whole. Has Julius Randle been having these same emotional outbursts throughout the whole season? No, he has not. He has shown that he has put in the work to become more emotionally balanced and have a positive impact on the team. And for people to not give him credit for that and try to discredit him and say that the reason why, because I read these comments and say things like the reason why, you know, he has been so calm emotionally is because Jalen Brunson is here to take the load off of him like as if Julius Randle hasn't done any self-work. I think that's disrespectful to Julius Randle and for the work that he has done in the offseason to get himself to a place now where those emotional outbursts are less and less. But you see, I'm not surprised though, because it's typical human nature. Because when people make mistakes and they change, people support you until you get back, until you dip again. And then people discredit all the good that you have done. And they focus on that one bad moment and be like, oh, here we go again. This is the same person that we had last season, and discredit everything that the dude has done to get himself back to a place emotionally where he's fine and he's trying to do his best to be a positive impact on the team.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that. And clearly these people, I got one more thing to say, but clearly these people are perfect people. Clearly these people don't make no mistakes in their life. Clearly these people go through life perfect as hell, make no mistakes. Clearly, with the way they got at Julius Randle for making one mistake where he kind of dipped a bit. Yeah. But I'm glad to see he picked himself back up and performed well tonight. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead, Lee.
On one hand, I haven't been here to have these conversations with y'all, so I'm kind of catching up. I did watch both games and listen to both podcasts. Shout out Jay Ellis for fighting through a sickness and still putting on a show. For all the fans listening in, y'all should be appreciative that y'all have Jay Ellis to do this podcast. On one hand, what Julius Randle did, I thought was really embarrassing. I was embarrassed as a Knicks fan for this to be the guy that I root for and to wear the Knicks jersey. I haven't seen very many outbursts to that degree in a couple of seasons from any player. For it to be your superstar and number one option, I thought was despicable. But at the same time, I contrast that against the body at work at large. And I think compared to his effort, the regiment that he puts himself through in the summer to stay in shape, to get in shape, his Ironman status of not missing a game, the overall leadership he's exhibited this season, leading comebacks, securing wins, first quarter by a bombardment of points and rebounds, leading the team and developing a pick and roll with Jalen Brunson. All those things to me, in the weight of the scales of justice, grossly counterbalance what he did in that one game, where I think people are allowed to have a miscue or a misstep that goes from Randle to RJ to Tibbs to Leon Rose to James Dolan. You know, you have to weigh the body of work at large. And to me, even though that outburst was despicable, when I compared to how he's been the rest of the season, to me it was a speed bump to an unbelievable, fantastic All-NBA season, MVP candidacy season, All-Star season, and even most improved season based on how he performed last year. Even though that in field goal percentage-wise, with 24 attempts minimum, it was the third worst Knicks single game performance in history.
It was a horrible game.
History of the franchise.
It was bad.
Which, you combine that with the outburst on the side for a foul where your head coach has to restrain you and you're cursing out poor Evan Fournier, who doesn't even get any minutes. I thought it was it made us look like the LOL Knicks again, which was sad to see. But he did bounce back in the fourth quarter, and he sure as hell bounced back today and put on a show tonight against really good defenders in Anthony Davis, who's playing fantastic defense as of late since a trade, and Jared Vanderbilt, one of the best 3 and 4 defenders in the entire NBA. He cooked them tonight. Yeah. So I was very proud with his overall effort. I agree with what Ryan said about judging a person, holistically and not just looking at the bad. I think a lot of these people are hate watching Randle, they're hate watching RJ, and they're hate watching Tibbs. When you look at the evidence, you have to give people credit when they have a good game on any element of the basketball team. And if I was sitting up here after wins saying fire Tibbs or Tibbs is a bum, I would be hate watching Tibbs. But you have to give credit where credit is due, and the evidence that's putting forth you should determine your outlook on how that team, how that person or that team played that night. And I think Tibbs had to bounce back game himself.
Yeah, it's funny because I'll be getting into these debates, and they be like, "Well, what about what he did 2 years ago?" I'm like, "Look, have any of you ever been in like actual relationships? I don't know if any of you've been actually in a relationship with like a significant other. Have you been with a woman before and you go, yo, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And then they go, well, What about 3 years ago when you didn't do the dishes? And you're like, but I did the dishes every day for 3 years, except for that day, and I missed a day, and now you're bringing it up 3 years ago. It's like, y'all sound like hurt old girlfriends to me. I'm not even gonna hold you. Y'all sound really hurt. Like, it's kind of crazy. Y'all need to get over it and think of each season as an individual season and not like a tally of everything he's ever done wrong his entire NBA career, because that's just ridiculous, especially after having a winning season. And shout out to big shout out to Gamer Channel, who gives us $60 super chat. This might be the biggest super chat we had. Says Julius Randle overall has been positive this season for us. Jalen Brunson was the best thing to happen to Julius Randle. RJ balled out tonight. This is the RJ we need. Gunshots. Absolutely. Absolutely. And to your Brunson thing, I do feel like Brunson does help alleviate some of the pressure from Julius Randle. I do believe that. But I also believe Randle's done a lot of the work himself. You can see him meditating in the beginning of the games, right? So I don't want to discredit the work he's done. But also, listen, Brunson was out for a stretch before, and Randle didn't go crazy. You know what I mean? So this is a second stint without Randle, and he's showing and improving. All right. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about that.
Nope. I said everything that I needed to say.
All right. But I just want to point it out one more time. The fourth quarter. We've had problems scoring in the fourth quarter. I said before that after Emmanuel quickly went off on the Celtics, I was hoping that Tiz would kind of lean more on quickly to initiate some action in the fourth quarter when things got tight. Today, he leaned on RJ a little bit more, which I appreciate, because I do feel like even though we didn't score a heavy amount in the fourth quarter, it didn't lead to a high grade of turnovers. At least we got some shots. And even though we missed some, even though I felt like that last shot RJ took was a little bit quick, I'd rather get a shot off than multiple turnovers, ISO situation type of deals, man. I like the process a little bit better in the fourth quarter, even though the result isn't exactly what I wanted. All right. Which brings me to RJ Barrett. All right. RJ Barrett balled. RJ, man, you frustrating the hell out of me, dog. I'm not even gonna hold you, RJ. You frustrated me this season. But I'm still hanging on by a thread to this little bit of hope that you can keep doing this. 30 points, 44% from the field. It was at 50% with like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then it got tight. The 3-point percentage was abysmal. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds. RJ Barrett combined with the bench unit really did a number on the Lakers. There was 2 points in the game that were kind of mood swingers. One was when the starters went out in like the first to second quarter, and the bench came in, and it kind of gave them a little bit of a lead, even though the bench outscored our bench, really. But then in the fourth quarter again, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Hartenstein, Josh Hart, they really got stops, pushed the ball in transition, took advantage of RJ's strength, which is scoring in transition. RJ really got going downhill, splitting defense, getting layups, putting the layups over the fingertips of Anthony Davis. He really had his offensive arsenal around the basket today, and this is what we really need from RJ to unlock his potential. Just I would love for the threes to fall, but the way he gets to the rim, if he can just consistently finish around the rim and be a situational, 3-point shooter, hit it in clutch moments, man, that would be a huge difference for us. What do you guys have to say about RJ's game?
Yeah, RJ had a good game today. 12 of 27 from the field. One of eight. You would want him to shoot better from 3-point range, but I feel like a lot of his drives to the basket were, very controlled because, I've said in the past, like when RJ Barrett's at his best, he's at his best when he drives to the basket and he takes his time. He doesn't just have tunnel vision and he just goes into the lane and just forces up shots. Like, no, he drove into the lane, took his time and his shots well, which is what I liked about his game tonight. And also, like you said, in transition, he took advantage of transition buckets as well, because with a team that plays good defense like the Lakers, now all the time that you can score against them in the half court, sometimes you have to speed the game up.
Yeah.
Get easy baskets. So, and he definitely took advantage of getting some easy baskets in transition as well. And, like I said, if RJ Barrett can give us this type of performance along when Julius Randle and when both Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson's on the court, the Knicks are always going to be a tough team to beat because that's that third option that we need.
Yeah, this is one of those rare instances where RJ understood the assignment. With Brunson out, he needed to play to his strengths. The three-point shooting is a major concern now and moving forward. It's been I think Mike Breen said he's struggled this season. He's really struggled his entire career. Ever since he came into the NBA, he's been a really suspect three-point shooter. And I don't know how that's going to change without adding some additional space in the starting unit with him, maybe add additional shooters so he has more wide open looks. Of course, Brunson didn't back and collapse in defense. His point attack is going to help his wide open attempts as well. Tonight, I thought he played really good defense, and he kind of adjusted the way that he was driving. It wasn't so vertical from one side of the court. When he gets the ball in his hands, he tries to do a one-man fast break. It's almost always going to end with him getting his shit stuffed under the basket. It's the most embarrassing thing to watch.
Yeah,
all the players in the team, like Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart. I just watch tape of your own teammates and see how to attack the basket efficiently. RJ Barrett, just like maybe of any player in the NBA, I see him get blocked and smacked more under the basket than anyone else. This time, he was driving from the weak side baseline and getting some really good attempts under the basket, coming from different directions, using his right hand, using his left, going right, and then switching to his left and finishing the basket, in the spots that he's most comfortable in on some of the smaller Laker defenders.
Yeah.
So I thought he was more efficient in that regard. Also showed off a floater in some of the mid-range. As long as it's not a three-point shot, I liked where his head's at, but we obviously know what he needs to work on this summer with Drew Hanlon.
Yeah. The way he's picked his spots since Brunson has been out to me has improved. It's just been, what are you hitting the shots or not? You know what I mean? For the most part, I liked more of the shot selection ever since Brunson has been out. And now I'm hoping he bottles that once Brunson is back, and he still has a lot better shot selection, and he also starts to actually hit his shots, with the exception of like a game or two, you know what I'm saying? Because he did have like a horrible game yesterday. So obviously I'm not talking about that. But there was like a game before where I felt like, he missed a lot of wide open good shots. You know what I mean? Or shots around the baskets that I would be like, you know what? You didn't force it. You missed a chipper, but you got to hit those. So I like the process for RJ. I just need him to keep going in that direction. Salute to the chat, though. If you want to call in and talk, you already know what to do. 319-527-6241. That's 319-527-6241. And shout out to Gamer Channel, who gave us $60 super chat too. I gotta shout you out twice, because I'm not gonna hold you. YouTube has been really funny with the way they've been messing with the algorithms and the streams, and like the way they do the payouts. Like, they screwed up the numbers to make it so that the live streams, you can't run the ads as soon. They mess some stuff up. So the actual donations will help a ton, because YouTube is doing some craziness on the back end. All right, so salute to you, Gamer Channel. Also salute to Corey Lee, Francisco Carrillo, and Grill was the Ellis Manchild Prophet, Knicks TV, King Ja. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. If you want to call in, dial that number 319-527-6241. I see people talking about the Deuce Hive. Okay. I see y'all in the chat. Y'all say, Jay Ellis, when y'all talking about Deuce, we gotta talk about Deuce. Deuce showed up to play today. Deuce was like, oh, y'all forgot about me. I think he was listening. He's like, oh, y'all want Derrick Rose. Okay, cool. Got you. Came in today, balled out. Went under the screen, dared him to shoot, bomb, hit a three. Loose balls in the air, the ball's landing close to Anthony Davis. I don't care. I'm running and I'm getting that offensive rebound anyway. I don't care if I'm 6 feet and everybody else is 7 feet. I'm getting that offensive rebound anyway. It was aggressive, picked his spots. Really like the way Deuce played today, and we're gonna need that with Emmanuel quickly starting to play heavy minutes. We gonna need the other guys to score. Deuce, Obadiah, shoot Grimes sometime. We're gonna need some of that. So shout out to Deuce McBride, who showed you some flashes of summer league Deuce today. And I don't know if he got anything to add, but I liked what he added today.
Yeah, I think the major thing I'm gonna add is with McBride, because, like you said, Quickly's minutes been kind of crazy as of late, especially from the Boston game. And the fact that McBride was actually scoring today, and even Jeff Van Gundy mentioned it on the broadcast as well, saying that, with the way Deuce McBride plays defense, if he's going to get on the court, he has to provide offensively. And he definitely provided offensively today. And he had those big 2 offensive rebounds, I believe it was in the 4th quarter.
Mm-hmm.
As well. So he was definitely, crashing the boards for a small guard as well. And I just like the fact that he provided offensively, because with him providing offensively, Thibs was able to keep him out there longer because he plays such great defense, and he was a beast on defense tonight, an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Because of that, his offensive scoring, Thibs left him out there for 17 minutes, which in turn gave Quickly more rest, and quickly only played 31 minutes tonight. So if McBride can give us this type of production while Jalen Brunson is out and kind of cut down Quickly's minutes a bit, I mean, shoot, that's great right there. That's what we need.
Yeah, I actually think Tibbs tried to ride the bench as long as he possibly could in the 4th quarter, because the Lakers starters actually went in early once the lead started slipping. And I was looking to see if Tibbs was going to try to match up like he usually does. But now he left Obi out there. He left McBride out there until they started to cut into the lead more. And then he hit the button and let Quickly and Randle back in. I don't know if you want to add something to that. Lee.
Yeah, it's been a month since Deuce McBride has gotten over 15 minutes. The last game, I think he got 7. The game before, 6 minutes. Look what happens when he gets a little bit over 15. I mean, Tibbs should be replicating the balance of a point guard and backup point guard. I was saying with it, Brunson and IQ do that when Brunson's out with IQ and McBride. And that's why I said I thought Tibbs had a good bounce back game himself, is that the minutes distribution was a little more healthier tonight, not overloading, the main 4 or 5 man rotations with the highest usage rates. So Miles McBride was able to get 17 minutes and chipped in 8 points and really locked down defense as an individual and as part of a team scheme.
Yeah. And even the Harts, man, the Harts did well too. Hartenstein battling Anthony Davis. Not even just Hartenstein, because I feel like as a team, the Knicks did well playing Davis. They quickly did a good job digging whenever Davis was trying to post. They kind of played Davis like how people be playing Julius Randle, and it has success. You know how Julius Randle has the post up and they just send a man to disrupt this rhythm. Yeah, and then you look up Anthony Davis is shooting 8 for 18 from the field and 17 points. So I think the game plan against Davis was really solid from Tibbs, and the Knicks did a great job with him. And shout out to Hartenstein, who really just got the rebounds, played defense. He passed well too. He had a beautiful dime too. I forgot who was that dime to. I'm forgetting right now. He only had 2 assists, and it's escaping me. But Hartenstein had a plus 19 on the night, highest plus minus on the team. Yeah, played great. Along with Josh Hart, who played 32 minutes tonight.
Hartenstein was universally clowned by Knicks fans for the first quarter of the season. He's actually turned out to be the best backup center we've had since Marcus Camby. Dude is really, really talented offensively and defensively. His advanced metric stats last year with the Clippers were out of this world in terms of his defense at the basket, protecting the rim, and his block percentage as a weak side defender and a primary defender in the post. And that's starting to come true here in his role with the Knicks. I think Tibbs is using his minutes really effectively. And the last couple of games, I would argue he's outplayed Mitch, which is why he's secured finishing the game here in the 4th quarter against Anthony Davis, who he played lockdown defensive. I mean, I'm not saying he's better than Mitch. He's certainly not. Mitch is twice the player that Hartenstein is. But this last 2 or 4 game Western Conference trip, I think he has outplayed him in the second half of games, and Tibbs has trusted him to finish it out.
Yeah, nah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. We need all of that to win these games. So shout out to Tibbs for using them. Shout out to Tibbs for making adjustments, because I was scared because Grimes was getting cooked by D'Angelo Russell, who even though Randle played well, had 25 points, I think Russell had like 23 in the first half. And I was sitting here like, are we going to play defense on this guy? I'm not used to seeing Grimes get cooked this bad for an entire game. But every time I'm looking at Russell, I'm like, I don't see Grimes in the picture at all. Like, whether it's the 3-point line or the rim. I was like, what is happening today?
Yeah, he's had a bad last 2, almost 3 weeks. Grimes kind of in totality. Not only has his point of attack defense been pretty poor, but his 3-point shot's been off too. Can't remember the last time he scored over 15 points. It's been a long time, but he's gotten cooked on the defensive end, which makes the team defense have to struggle more to make up for that in the post. It's really wearing Mitch out in the backside, trying to clean up a lot of those mistakes that he's making. Yeah.
But I mean, kudos for Tibbs again. Listen, I didn't see him getting any shots off in the second half. The Knicks did a lot better job kind of blitzing the pick and roll in the second half, so they made adjustments. But yeah, Grimes, woof, that was a rough one, buddy. That was
Yeah, it definitely was. D'Lo scored 33 tonight, and a lot of his points in the first half was on Grimes. I mean,
yeah.
It's rare. It's rare when you say Brad Grimes had a bad defensive game, but this game was definitely one of his bad defensive games, like Lee said. Lately he hasn't really been that great defensively, but hopefully, he'll be able to pick it back up. He'll have a day off Tuesday against the Trailblazers. Let's see.
Yeah. Shoot, low key, RJ wasn't having the best game defensively. Like, what's his name? Who was? It was Reeves was cooking him. The kid off the bench?
Yeah. Reeves.
Yeah.
Every time I see Reeves, I mean, maybe Reeves is just better than I think he is, because he's just like a little shifty with his little change of pace dribbles. But Reeves was, RJ was cooking too, so I wasn't gonna harp on it too much. But Reeves was kind of cooking. Overall, I just feel like our bigs and quickly defensively did a decent job. And in the fourth quarter, we did what we had to do when it was time to do it. So I'm taking that win. I'm taking that win to the bank. All right. I'm just glad the skid is over. And we have another game coming up versus... Yeah, another game coming up Tuesday, right? That's the infamous Portland Trailblazers game. Yeah, so let's stay tuned for that. I don't really have that much to talk about. I don't know if you have. Listen, guys, hold on. First of all, salute to the chat. If you love the show, hit the like and subscribe button. But also, I don't want to definitively say anything as of yet, but I'm just going to say I think we have a big guest coming, and you might want to be here for this. That's all I'm going to say. So Wednesday, y'all might want to look out. If y'all might want to, be aware Wednesday of stuff that's happening. But you might have a big guest coming Wednesday. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So salute to the chat. If you're on the fence about subscribing to the channel, you probably gonna want to subscribe to the channel once Wednesday hits. I'm just let you go right now. But but yeah. Do you guys anything else that you want to add to talk about the game? I feel like I've talked about everything that touches my heart.
I like that. I heard Woj say that Brunson's not getting another day of rest. That would give him almost a full week from the moment that he re-aggravated his foot in that game against Sacramento, which the rest is, a premium in Tibbs' system. I really wish that Julius would be able to have a night off and let Obi start for a game. Portland would be a really good game to do that against, but it's just not going to happen. it's one of Tibbs' biggest flaws. The minutes restrictions for Obi and McBride have really frustrated me. I like to see a little bit of that being mitigated after that 2-game losing streak, that he actually didn't wait for 4 or 5 games instead for him to get McBride some more minutes. But I would just love to see Obi unleashed in a 17 and 20-minute role off the bench, no matter who that comes at cost. Maybe, Julius Randle doesn't have to play the entire damn game for that to happen. But, I'll take what I can get. We know what Tibbs is going to give you. I think it's disingenuous to say fire Tibbs at this point in the season after what he's shown he can do with that unbelievable win streak and the changes that he's made to the 9-man rotation that turned around our system, and how easily he's integrated Josh Hart into the offense and defense of his team, and just how well that he's embraced Jalen Brunson, giving him the keys to run the offense. I'm going to reserve that right to fire Tibbs after a playoff performance. I'm ready, I think this entire panel is going to have him under a microscope, seeing what kind of adjustments he makes after that embarrassing smacking in the first round by the Hawks. Because that Minnesota team that he was on that first year, they won 47 games, which is damn near a 50-burger. So, after he got smacked in the first round in Houston, it was the Rockets, not the Warriors, in 5 games. He was fired a year and a half later. So it's really going to be crucial on how he performs in the playoffs. As we already know we can do in the regular season. He's one of the best regular season coaches this Knicks team's ever had.
Yeah, I feel like the 50-burger thing is with Jalen Brunson out. I don't think we're gonna hit the 50-burger for sure. I still feel like might hit like 45 or something. At this point, health is something you kind of have to have for stuff like that, unless somebody emerges. I do like the way IQ has stepped up. He had 15 points today. Pretty solid game. Can I just say that I in general, I liked how the Knicks fought through some calls today, because the Knicks could have had like 3 or 4 and ones called in their favor, and they kept playing. And I think that was one of the problems that happened in the game before, where, they weren't playing through the non-call whistles. And we have to, at this point, especially on the road, you're not going to get those calls on the time. So I like that we fought through those types of moments, and still beat this team. That shows a certain level of mental toughness that you're going to need to have in the playoffs, especially if you're playing away games in the playoffs. So kudos for the Knicks for growing in that regard. And Julius Randle himself, I know he has to grow and say, I'm not going to allow the refs and what's happening in this moment affecting me. But he also has to realize there are other teams who know you're volatile, and they might just game plan to be physical, to get under your skin, to purposely provoke you to get out of your game. So if maybe for him, it might be easy to control. Because I know for me, if I know someone's purposely trying to get under my skin, I kind of just, my brain goes into another mode. It's like, man, you know what I'm saying? So you have to get into that mode where, all right, they trying to get me. I'm gonna show them what to get and then drop another 30. You know what I'm saying? So, Randall, you got to get together. Hopefully you moved on and grown from that instance yesterday. All right? All right. I seen somebody ask, how many games are left? We got 1, 2, 3.
The answer in the chat is 12 games. So if the Knicks are gonna get a 50-burger, they gotta go 10-2 in the last 12 games.
10-2. Yeah, and let's see. The toughest game we have is the Nuggets for sure. The Timberwolves aren't a slouch either. And look, we got some tough games. Winnable. All of these games are winnable. All these games, with the exception of the Nuggets, are winnable. We've beaten a lot of the teams that we're about to face in this home stretch. Pacers. Play the Pacers twice. We play the Cavs. We play the Heat twice. Play the Timberwolves. But, a lot of those teams, a lot of those games are going to be one of those games where you're going to have to fight and claw for final possessions. A healthy Jalen Brunson is going to mean a lot. arrested Julius Randle will mean something, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get the opportunity to arrest him. But all that is going to matter. And on top of that, the Nets are actually playing well. They beat the Nuggets the other day.
Yeah.
They beat the Nuggets in overtime, I believe. So we're gonna have to keep this momentum up and get this winning streak going. To see, because I don't want to play this. I don't want to be in the 6th seed if I can help it. I'd rather play the Cavs.
Fair. Me too.
I'd rather play the Cavs.
All facts.
I know in theory we can beat, some of the other guys, but I rather play the other young team without a lot of playoff experience. And see what we do with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have to say about that.
Gamers Channel had a good point that we haven't talked about Josh Hart, who I think that combined with Jalen Brunson makes Leon Rose top candidate for Executive of the Year. That midseason deal was second best pickup the deadline after KD to the Suns. He's brought glue, offense, defense, and as Jeff Van Gundy pointed out on the broadcast, those advanced passes he's making is adding a new wrinkle to the offense that we did not have before, because he has the athleticism and upper body strength and the IQ to find guys on the break to get him for really easy layups, which has really helped RJ Barrett in the second half get his game going after a couple of easy twos on the break, helping him go downhill, which got him in a rhythm, and he was able to start attacking the basket with some confidence. So shout out Josh Hart, excellent pickup, just what we needed, and someone who I know for sure will be re-signed this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Hart, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists on the night. Advanced pass God. All right. Advanced pass God. Whether it's an advanced pass or he's igniting the one-man fast break himself, Josh Hart is what you need to unlock some of these guys' offense potential. Is one of the best connector wings in the NBA. Sometimes I wish he actually shoot a little bit more, but at the end of the day, he's still a positive on most teams, plus 13 on the night, and 2 clutch 3-pointers to make the game a 2-possession game in the fourth quarter. Really good job once again by Josh Hart, who might be our emotional leader, possibly emerging as the emotional leader on this team a long time. The emotional leader and accountability guy. And we have a lot of leaders, but that might be his specialty maybe on this team.
Yeah, we didn't really have a vocal guy before he came, and now we do.
Yeah. So shout out to Josh Hart, all right? All right. Like, once again, man, I think Wednesday. We should have a big guest Wednesday. I still have to confirm, but you might want to be here for that. All right.
And I do want to say a couple things. First and foremost, Howard Hamlin. Can we talk about Jalen Ramsey? My guy. This is not an NFL podcast. All right.
Okay.
Not NFL podcast. This is an NBA podcast. Okay, raw sport. All right. No, that's first and foremost. Secondly, I just want to add, something about Josh Hart. I just like the fact that because even in the first quarter when the Knicks were like kind of struggling to keep up with the Lakers, like it's like when Josh Hart is inserted into games, it's like automatically it's like the Knicks get an uptick in defense, like the Knicks get an uptick in transitional baskets, and it's like the team plays faster and the team plays better defensively, and it's like people feed off of his energy. So it's like when he's flying around the court, I think it encourages other players as well to fly around the court as well, and it gives that Knicks that extra defensive boost that they need. When sometimes when they're behind in games, it helps them to catch up, and even to score and even sometimes surpass the opponent as well. So, I just want to say that about Josh Hart. Just add a little 2 cents because basically, y'all said everything that needed to be said about Josh Hart. Just want to add a little bit 2 cents there.
Add your 2 cents in. Culture said it, man. Those types of players are infectious. It gets everybody into that mindset. We got to get down and dirty with you. So, I agree. Did you have a bruh pick? That's what it sounded like you had a bruh pick coming.
Do I have a bruh pick?
I do.
All right, go ahead, Lee.
I got a bruh pick. My Dallas Mavs, man. Who would have thought they'd be at 500 this late in the season? 3-7 out of their last 10. And let me tell you, that draft pick that we own is looking pretty damn good. It's sitting at 15 right now, and sliding. Very possible they drop under 500. They had a big time game against Memphis Grizzlies, who we just lost to, blew a 15-point lead going to the fourth, and lost that game without Kyrie and Luka. And Luka, I believe, is not playing again. Kyrie might be a game time decision, but Memphis has their number, and I expect them to continue losing. That pick continue getting better, and we'll have a nice little mid-teens pick to pick up a win, hopefully, this year's draft. Walt Perrin, work your magic, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Bruh. That is called the rare Ubra. All right. If you guys don't even know, this is old KOT callback. The Ubra. The Ubra is when it's good, but it's bad, but it's actually kind of good. All right. The Ubra. All right. It's bruh because, you know, the Mavericks not to be that low in the standings, but it's because we own that pick. Well, Perrin can do his magic. So shout out to
their game and a half out of falling out the play-in completely, which is unbelievable. They're a game and a half out of falling out the play-in completely.
That's
being
crazy.
Out the playoff picture. It's crazy after the Western Conference Finals run.
That Porzingis trade is still given. All right. Thank you, KP. You've done your job, sir. Oh, man. Ryan G, what you got, sir? I don't know if you have anything.
Nah, I don't think I have any bro picks tonight. I can't think of any. I haven't really ran into any, but hopefully for Tuesday's game I'll have something. Hopefully.
Let's go. I'll take it. All right. You know what? That's cool. We just end the show. That is the show. You know what I'm saying? If you can catch us next game will be on Tuesday versus the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't think Brunson will be playing that game as well, but hopefully, you know, we're back into a full mental space and we have a complete effort like we did today. All right, because we need every game we can get. With the Nets nipping on our heels, we have to be. I think we're still tied right now. So we have to pretty much win every game really to keep them at bay. Because once you beat the Nuggets mentally, that can do a lot for your squad. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Knicks come in and take care of business versus the Portland Trail Blazers. All right, Lee, let them know where they can find you, sir.
At Twitter _Leescobedo, LEEESCOBEDO. I missed Cred tonight when we were driving back from San Antonio, and I was listening to the pod, and I heard Ryan giving Cred the smoke in the chat. Me and my pops were busting out laughing in the car, man. That was hilarious. I love the Ryan versus Cred in the chat, man. It's iconic. Cred, baby, we miss you. Come back. We miss our troll.
Yo, matter of fact, I'm surprised he wasn't in the chat tonight after RJ had such a great game. I thought he would have.
Oh yeah, this would be the game for Cred to come in and beat his chest. I'm sure he'll be back though. I'm sure he'll be back.
Cred the troll.
Right. Oh, you know what? Other troll hasn't been here. You know what? Probably because we're talking good about Randle, so it's not fun for him anymore.
Oh man.
Oh man. But yeah, Ryan G, let me know where I can find you, sir.
You can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIR. G is CHILLIN. You can also find me at Sir G's Corner. You can also find me on Twitter at Ryan G KOT.
Okay, cool. Shouts out, guys. Listen. All right. I'm gonna let you guys know. Follow us on the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook. Also, listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can listen to the KOT Show because some people, they don't like being on YouTube. All right. Also, snapbacks, black and white, blue and orange. Get those. All right, at the nickoftimeshow.com/catalog. Oh, I still have to set the promo code. My bad. Yo, I've been sick. Literally, guys. I was asleep, wait till the game, watch the game, go right back to sleep. That's all I've been doing this whole weekend. That's all I've been doing this whole weekend. All right, so I have to kind of catch up on certain things because I was feeling like doo-doo. All right. But I'm good. I'm good today, as you can see. All right. But that is our show. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back. And as always,
shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
it's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets. That's our show. We out this mug.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.